Okay, algebra. Take a look. We have Austin Powers joining us today because we are going to be doing a little bit with exponents. But today's lesson is applying the order of operations. Some of you might recall that this is the same as PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. In any case, our learning targets, I can use the order of operations to evaluate expressions, and I can evaluate expressions in real life situations. All right, here we go. So as a warm-up, in order to do part A, you need something called distributive property. You might remember this. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. We can't do anything with this. I cannot combine those unless I know what the value of x is. So you leave it just as is. Now here, I'm going to show you a mistake first. This is what not to do. So many students will say, oh, 36 plus 4 is 40, divided by 2 is equal to 20. All right, so what I want you to do right now is cross that off. Remember, order of operations, you need to do what? We have to do multiply and divide first in either order. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I have 36 plus 2, that's going to equal 38. Pretty much that's what our lesson is going to be about. And here we do have an exponent, but do what's inside of parentheses first. 4 plus 1 is 5. We have to square it. 5 squared is 25. So there's our power. Order of operations, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it because I actually don't like pink, but I seem to use a lot of it. It stands out in these videos. All right, so order of operations, the first thing you want to do is evaluate expressions inside of grouping symbols, like inside your parentheses. Then work with your exponents, your powers. Multiply and divide from left to right. It doesn't matter which one comes first. Add and subtract from left to right. So, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Notice how it's grouped where you have the A and S together, the M and D. It doesn't remember which one you do first. You're going from left to right for those. So let's look at example 1. The first thing I want to take care of is right here. So 2 to the third power is not 6. It's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So I have 40 divided by 8 times 3 plus 7. Now I have a divide and multiply. Do this one first. Remember, we're working from left to right. So 40 divided by 8 is 5 times 3 plus 7. Now multiply that 5 times 3. You have 15 plus 7 equal 22. If you had anything else, you might have a mistake somewhere. Part B, I have a multiplication symbol right in the center, so I have to take care of that first. 2 times 3 is 6. So I have 6 plus 6 minus 5. Then we're going to do the add and subtract from left to right. So I have 12 minus 5. That's equal to 7. All right, now let's throw some grouping symbols at you. Can you handle it? I'm going to do this problem in 2 ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is do what's inside of grouping symbols first. 12 minus 5 is 7. Multiply by 3, you get 21. You actually can use distributive property here. 3 times 12 minus 3 times 5. And if you'll notice, in some cases this is going to be easier, but in this case it's not. 3 times 12 is 36 minus 15, you get 21. But do what's inside of grouping symbols first, because I want you to see that's a lot simpler. All right, grouping symbols, here we go. 2 plus 4 is 6, so I have 2 plus 3 times 6 squared divided by 9. Then we have to take care of this exponent. So I have 2 plus 3 times 36, it's going to give us a big number, divided by 9. Now we have a multiplying and a dividing. Work from left to right. So I have 2, we're going to work on this. Help you out, that's 108. Divided by 9. Now we have to take care of the 108 divided by 9. I know this is ridiculous, right? 2. Let's see here. 108 divided by 9 is, I believe it's 12. And we get 14. That's our final result. If you evaluating at something different than 14, double check your work. All right. This one, 2 sets of grouping symbols. Usually grouping symbols will alternate. Use parentheses, then brackets, then parentheses, then brackets. That way you can kind of organize what's going with what. So we're going to work with the innermost. 12 minus 4 is 8. So I have 4 times the quantity 22 plus 8. Then, again, what's inside of parentheses or brackets, these are grouping symbols. We have 4 times 30, which is equal to 120. So far, so good. If I'm going too fast, you can pause this, go back, look at it. Let's go to the next page. This is getting good. Sorry about that. All right, so at the top, now we're going to evaluate. This is really tiny. I might have to zoom in here. So we're going to be plugging in or substituting 3 in for x. So here I have 3 plus 3 over 2 times the quantity, 3 plus 15. And the numerator, or the top, 3 plus 3 is 6, over 2 times 18. 6 is still in the top. Now work in the bottom. We have 36. And that will reduce to 1 over 6. 6 goes into each one. Part B. All right. 3 plus 2. Quantity squared. Remember, I'm substituting in 3 in for x. And the denominator, I have 3 times 3 minus 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. It's still squared, or to the second power. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1. 5 squared is 25. 9 minus 1 is 8. I told you can leave it like this, or you can change it to a mixed number. Now, number 4, or example 4 is I'll leave that so you can see it still if you need it. Example 4 is really tricky. You have a lot of numbers here, but you want this to equal 14. So you have to figure out where do those grouping symbols go. All right, so I'm going to make it really easy for you. I did this problem like 3 different times, and I finally got it right. Let's group the first 3. If I add those up, 9 plus 39 plus 22, that's equal to 70. And again, you're probably wondering, she can do this math in her head so fast. Not really. I was working on these. Divided by, well, 70 divided by what is equal to 14? The answer is 5. And if you notice, if you group the last 3, 11 minus 9 is 2, plus 3 is 5. You're going to get 14. So there's our assignment. I like these. These can be tricky. Maybe I'll put a few of them up on the board for challenges. The homework assignment is at the bottom, section 1.2. Here are the pages in the book, 10 to 12. 3 to 33 multiples of 3, and then do 36, 37, 38. There's your Common Core standard. All right, everyone, have a nice evening. Bye.